Horse and House.
Hey everybody, you are in hour, I don't know how.
It's like hour 11.
Hour 11.
Of today.
Yeah. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm Mark Pagan.
I'm Justin Purvis.
And we are Horse and House, and we are actually missing some.
Yeah, we're half. We're actually, I guess we're just horse.
We're horse.
Or house, depending. Yeah, we're half.
So we're going to do something that's a little bit different. We're just going to kind of talk, just have a conversation. Two of the guys that are supposed to be here, one's named Dan McBoy, one's named Dan Hoda. And we all met here through Washington Improv Theater.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. I think I met you guys about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to at least do the show with Dan Hodap. Dan Hodap is in New York City, which we all know has gotten the major...
Or will be in about an hour.
Atlantis or something like that. So he unfortunately wasn't able to come. And talking to Justin about this backstage, we were trying to think of things to do, just the two of us. Two of us have done two-man shows. We're sick of each other.
True.
We don't want to do any more funny stuff together.
No.
We don't want to improvise at all. And
we just want to be real.
Yeah.
And connect with you guys.
So we wanted to talk a little bit and kind of, if you let us indulge ourselves a little bit about the history of Horse and House and some of the important things that came about, and also Washington Improv Theater. You're going to get a little bit of history there.
Everything that you're going to hear is 100% true.
Yeah.
I promise you that. If I'm lying, I'll buy you a beer. Or liquid of your choice.
Justin and I have become good friends. And I honestly am very blessed to have met a guy named Justin. And honestly, he's a great friend, he's a great improviser. We've indulgently created art together on stage. But I met him in the crew 4 years ago. I had moved back 5 years ago, almost to this month, to this date. I moved back to the country. I was living in Chile. And reluctantly had moved back to my parents' basement. And I guess 5 years ago now, it was 2006. So summer 2006, my parents' basement, and had done
Gaithersburg, right?
in Gaithersburg, Maryland, which we all know where that is, and how living in your parents' basement in Gaithersburg sounds like a joy. So I moved back there, and I'd done improv in New York for a while, and had not really touched it for a bit, and had kind of wanted to tip my toe back into it. And had tried a few things and had met, I can't remember how, it was through IRC, this group called The Lodge. We have John Lee.
Woo!
John Lee.
John Lee, one of the founders of The Lodge. And one of the co-founders was him and Marquis, a.k.a. Mark Carroll.
Yeah. So I had come in for a random audition with The Lodge, and this gentleman right here was coaching at the time.
I was coaching The Lodge at the time.
Yeah.
You had frogs on your...
Oh yeah, on my little frogs, a big frog guy.
Yeah, there is like patron, it's totem. They're your totem.
They're my totem, yeah.
Yeah, because you almost always have frogs.
So I didn't know shit about DC Improv, like what was going on in the scene, but I met this crew, was lucky enough to join John Lee, Justin Purvis, in The Lodge and do some fun things. And I found out Justin was superstar status in Washington Improv Theater doing everything. Mark is over there, and want to shout out Mark as well. We may bring you into this story a little bit too.
Hey, Mark, hey, there you are.
So anyway, had joined the ranks of The Lodge, and then from there, Washington Improv Theater from Justin's influence. I don't know if you want to take over.
You're doing great. I was just joining here in the story. He had done that, and in 2005, when I came into Washington Improv Theater on the tail of a wonderful woman who also couldn't be down here, who lives in New York. Her name is Natasha Rothwell. Some of you may know her. She's one of the finest improvisers I've ever had the pleasure of knowing and being friends with. We met in college doing Erasable Inc. at the University of Maryland. And she came on board with Washington Improv Theater in, I think, 2004, and kind of took over as the pseudo-managing director, and then was like the dean of classes. And I was checking in with her, because I went a year after graduating college. I went a year without doing any improv, and I started to Jones for it. And so I contacted Natasha, and I said, hey, I want to take classes. I'll go wherever you need me to go. I'll start at the beginning if you need to. And she's like, it's cool, you can start with 3 at level 3. And actually the very first improv class I took was level 3 scene that Mark Shalfon taught. So give it up for Mark Shalfon. He deserves it. This man deserves so much more than just applause. But I went through a couple classes. I went through level 3, and then I think I took Harold with Patrick Gantz, who lives in Richmond now. And then that summer, I auditioned for a group that Natasha was founding. They were doing a huge mass audition for 161 and this new group, which originally was called Baby Fat. It was Natasha's thing, and we all embraced it. But then when we finally founded it, I was one of the founding members of what is now Caveat. And there was a large talk about it, and the consensus came to be that Baby Fat is not a marketable name, and so we needed to come up with a name. So the 4 founding members, which was myself, Ann Acorn, who now lives in Chicago, Sarah Hendrickson, Dash Parker, who now works with the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, or the Mayo Clinic, whatever you call it, and James Williams, who is a producer at large for Discovery. We were the 4 founding members of Caveat. We came on board, and then so the next year, within 9 months to a year, was Mark coming on board with the Dans and a couple other, and Joe Brack.
And Joe Brack. So
yeah.
it was summer 2007 where
Yes.
we were that unit.
Yes.
And we had a fucking blast.
It was
like,
yeah, it was
a blast.
It was
and there was a 7 to 8 month run
where we were kings!
where we had a blast. Now, here's the fun part, is we get to give you some dirt for people you may or may not know.
Yes. If you don't know, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
But if you do, then talk to the people who don't.
5 members, Justin, myself, the 2 Dans, and Joe Brack,
Brack.
with Natasha coaching.
So it's hard to imagine, I know, 5 guys as one improv troupe. It's incomprehensible. Never been seen before on stage.
Now, we all got along pretty well. We were all pretty social, hung out together.
Yep.
Now, you know, like any good rock band, we'll call it a rock band.
Yeah.
There are riffs that happen from time to time.
Riffs that become schisms and chasms and
Yes,
tears.
exactly.
Yes.
And sometimes a little thing called the bottle hits people.
That's true.
So
That's
we had.
Because here's the thing. I just want to take a moment.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is a truism. Your own personality is magnified when you're drunk. So if you're a fucking asshole, you're a super fucking asshole when you're drunk.
Yes.
If you're a nice guy, you're a super nice guy when you're drunk. It's just a fact. Take that with you. Continue.
So we had fun shows, and unfortunately, there was one member who we all like to have, you know, a little taste here and there. We had one member that liked it especially, and
Among other
things, would turn into Mickey Rourke.
Yes.
When he drank. Mickey Rourke mixed with some other mixture of just like contemptible human behavior. But anyway, he would get drunk, and I was always the one that
we're
was
scooping dirt here, man.
I was always the one. I hate to say these things. I'm not going to say names yet, but I was always the one. And sometimes this happens for people, and you may know situation. Everybody here has a situation where you're hanging out with people, maybe you're partying, your friends, all this stuff, like you're having a good time. You're like, okay, you know what? I got to get up early in the morning. I got to go. You're the one that leaves. And
He never, ever witnessed any of the drama that happened.
Right when you close that door. Right when you close
gloves
the door.
off, fist flying.
So 12 hours later, you're the one getting the phone call saying, Mark, or any of your names out in the crowd, do you know what fucking happened last night?
Yeah. Somebody's leaving the group.
What happened?
Yeah.
So, right when I would leave these situations,
every single time.
Every single time.
So movie.
About 5 times this happened, shit would go down because of alcohol.
Yes.
And what would happen would be such.
Are we going to full Monty on this one?
Well, basically,
somebody would get their true self, and they would then start berating and belittling other people in the group about choices they're making or not making in their lives. And they would say to them, "Just make a decision." That's them slurring because they're pretty far gone. And then everyone else is it's kind of like that whole train rubbernecker thing. Everyone else is not actually involved in what's happening, but is witnessing it. It's just like, what? Why did this just start? Why the fuck is going on? Like, how should? And no one wanted to say anything because it's just like, oh, initially it was, oh, he's drunk. Let it go. But then when it keeps happening over and over again, it gets to the point where you're just like, I am not going to take this anymore. We jumping forward, or are we continuing?
Well, what it led to,
Yes.
was one member leaving, and then within about a 2-month span, the 2 other members left due to moving to different places, getting married, moving on to different improv things. You have something you want to say. But
And also our director moving to Japan
and our director
to teach
moved
English to
Japan.
adults. Natasha Roth,
Yeah.
our director.
So Caveat became a different thing. There's just Justin and myself left, and it became a new group.
A new being.
A new being,
We
a
brought
whole
on
new
a
thing.
great new cast.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you're excusing here is the indulgency of talking the history of a group that you may or may not know. But what that led to is basically between the lines of everything we just said is that we can all relate to friendships.
Yes.
And what happens so rarely in improv groups, and it really does, is that you actually like the fucking people. Like you really like.
Despite them.
Like you like spending time with them outside of doing scenes with them. We have
Because
groups.
we had gone all up and down the East Coast together. We had gone up to Toronto for the Toronto Improv Festival as Caveat. We had been down to Charleston, South Carolina for the Charleston Comedy Festival. Yeah, comedy in Charleston. It's a great place. You should go there. It's wonderful. And then all places in between, even Chicago. But like we literally were like this Partridge Family traveling band style thing. We would rent a car. When we went to Toronto, we rented this Infiniti XQ77 9065, whatever. It was a very fancy car, yeah. Product placement. And there was like 6 of us crammed into this car. We had a DVD player in the back, we were driving. It was a lot of fun. But so like we'd been all of these places, we'd done all of these things. I just want to jump back real quick because I want to tell the thing. Just jumping back too. So one year, I think this was the January leading up to us. Caveat, now Horse and House. That thing, the breakup, the whatever, the band breaking up. We had just done a big show down at Boston Mall Comedy Spot, which is a wonderful place you should go check out for comedy, sports, and etc. And we were riding back. We did a show. We did the Caveat Unplugged show.
Right.
There, and we were heading back, and I was driving, and we had 2 of the members, and then a friend of one of the members in the car. And the guy who gets drunk a lot and states his opinions, whether anyone wants to hear him or not, starts laying into the other guy. And I got sick of this, and I told myself as a New Year's resolution, I was like, I'm not going to let this shit go down anymore. Because when, like, David starts getting beat up by Goliath, I'm going to stand up to Goliath. And so in the car, I'm driving, and so guy A starts going at guy B, and so then I'm just like, dude, you know what? You're airing family business in front of strangers. Now, granted, this other guy in the car was a friend of his, but he's not part of the family. You don't air your laundry in front of strangers. And so I stuck up, whatever. Yeah, I stuck up for him. And then we're on Connecticut. We had just gotten off of 66, and we stopped at a stoplight, and guy B, the victim, we'll call him, just gets out of the car, and he leaves, because he's not going to deal with it anymore, because he's being harassed. And then we dropped off the friend. So I had the aggressor in my car with me driving back. We lived very close to each other, and it was probably about a 20-minute drive. And he was letting into me like nobody's business. He was calling me everything under the sun. And I was so livid, but I said to him, I was like, get it out. Get it all out now, because here's the deal. You're fucking drunk, and tomorrow we're still going to be friends. But he said such hurtful things to me. And so we get home, and he goes his way, I go mine. And that was really kind of the wedge that began to shift us apart, where it was just like, there's a certain point where you have people in your lives who are anchors, and they bring you down. And you just have to cut them loose, because they bring nothing but destruction with them. But that was the thing where I felt so bad for, like, because I don't make decisions in my life. I'm like a sail, wherever the wind blows, I just go with it. But other people who, when our victim was being harassed, I was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. And so I had to step up and basically take that bullet for him, because I couldn't watch him get berated by the aggressor anymore. Because I'm a big guy and I got a thick hide. Unless you hit certain buttons, then you can cut to me quick. But so that's the thing there. So
That's the thing there.
That's the thing I wanted to share with you guys.
The few of us that did still like each other, we got back together.
We did.
From different cities, and we created something called Horse and House.
Horse and House.
Reason that we're sitting here indulging ourselves in front of you is because we can't do a show with at least with two of us. There has to be at least three, if not the four of us.
Yeah. We've had we've had so many wonderful opportunities where we've been able to kind of put the band back together for a run. We did do that following summer. So I think we split up in April, and that following June we went to the Chicago Improv Festival, and we got there like 3 days early. And so we met every day, and one of the guys that was living there was taking the Second City program. He was taking Second City classes. So we had access to a rehearsal room. We met every day for a couple hours. We rehearsed, we hung out, we went to Billy Goat Tavern, all of that standard stuff we need to do. And then we went on at the Playground in Chicago, and right after a group called Four Track played. If you guys have never heard of or seen, you need to watch Four Track. They're amazing. But we went on stage after them, and we had a great show. We had a lot of fun together, because it's just like that love that you feel on stage for your brothers. It gets on stage, and it's just like whatever the shit that's going on outside of it stops when you walk on stage together, and you have a great time.
Yeah. So you have most of us in this crowd right now are improvisers, are interested, are taking classes, will take classes, or should take classes.
Starting up soon, like
you're not
in 2 weeks.
You're not guaranteed people that you're going to get along with. You're guaranteed people that will have talents and you're going to do maybe shows with. And this isn't coming from a holier than thou perspective. What we're doing in terms of just talking on stage right now is that we're talking about love that we have for friends of ours.
And like what becomes family.
And something that really, really was special to us and still is. So thank you guys for letting us.
Thank you guys so much.